I'm Tasha. Well, everyone's heard that expression that time is precious, right? And it really is. Like, a lot of times we take it for granted. A lot of times we'll lounge around all day. I know I do. And watch TV or play on my iPad or do absolutely nothing. For some reason, like, we never really take into consideration how precious it is. Like, our time could be up any second of any minute of any day. And until like July 10, 2011, I was one of those people that used to take it for granted. And I changed that day because that is the day that I lost my best friend. His name was Matt Chardon, right? And he was like the most spirited person you could ever meet. Like, everyone knew him for his smile, because no matter what he was feeling, he was always smiling for some reason. He was just always a happy kid. And he was really respectful, especially towards his mom. I don't know if he was respectful or scared of her, but like, every time we went out, he would take time away to call her, like right when we got there, like 2 hours into hanging out, and right when we were leaving, he literally stepped aside and be like, "Hey mom, I'm here. Hey mom, I'm okay." All that stuff. And he wasn't ashamed of it, you know, like, he totally loved his life, and we loved him. And when I moved to Florida right after high school, I missed all the graduation parties, which kind of sucked, but you know, I was like, okay, it's whatever, I'll see them all next summer when I come to visit. Like, it never occurred to me that when I left, one of my friends would be fighting cancer, and it never occurred to me that it would be my best friend fighting cancer. So as soon as he found out, he went to California to be treated, and like, as soon as I got in touch with him through Facebook, I got his number, and we used to talk every day. Like, we made plans to go home, we talked about life, we talked about everything. And it was so unrealistic that he had cancer because, you know, you never expect him to get it. You just never expect anyone you know to get it. And it was so funny because every time we talked, he'd always talk about like all the hot nurses that came in, and he'd say like, "Oh yeah, they wanted me," and all of that. So it's like, how do you have cancer? Are you sure? And then like, out of all the times we talked, there was only one phone call where I got really scared. I called the hospital, you know, dialed the extension to his room number, and every time I call, he would always answer, or if his nurse answered, which rarely happened, they would always tell me like, "Oh, I'm just taking his blood, or just checking him real quick, can you call back in 5 minutes?" But this one time, the nurse was like, you can't call right now, or he can't talk right now because he just got out of chemotherapy, and he's been sleeping for a few days, so, you know, I kind of panicked. And when I finally spoke to him, I was panicking so much that I swear to God, I think he wanted to hang the phone on me. And like he reassured me that chemotherapy was good, and that, you know, it was getting better, and he was gonna go home, and he was only in the hospital for observation. So, you know, every day I believed him, and every day I was like, all right, we're gonna go home, we're gonna meet up there, and we're gonna see all our friends and family. Well, when summer 2011 came, I was going home, and I told Manny that I'll meet him there. Like, I called him, we talked, told him I'll meet him at home. And during the process of me moving back home and getting a job and, you know, finally getting all my stuff together, one of our really good friends, named Maya, he came to visit me. And like, I could just tell by his face, he was so stressed out. He was all sad and depressed, and he's like, "We need to talk." So he came into my house, we were talking, and he's like, "Matt's not doing so well." When I asked him what happened, you know, he's like, he just got sick one day, and right now he's on 80% life support, and the chances of him getting better is not good. So, you know, we're all stressed out, we're all sad, like, couldn't sleep for hours, and like, we already knew the outcome, we already knew what was gonna happen. So when the day finally came, you know, one of our old teachers from high school called me, and he was all crying. So you already knew what was happening, you already knew what happened, and like, the only thing he told me was like, "Matt's gone." So, you know, I started crying, I'm all panicking, I tried to call the hospital, I tried to call his mom, and I couldn't get through to anyone. Like, that night, all of our friends got together, and we all started, you know, talking about memories of Maddie, and it still, you know, it helped, but you know, our hearts were still broken. So when Matt's funeral came, like, I guess we were all happy for him, but still sad at the same time. His mom wanted us to dress in like all white because she wanted him to be remembered. She wanted his death to be a celebration and not to be sad. She didn't want anyone wearing black at all. And basically, like, losing Matty was a really painful experience for me. He was such a great person, so much dreams, and he died at like 18, so, you know, it wasn't fair. But moral of the story is, don't waste your time, you know, go out, spend it with your loved ones, and you never know when your time's going to be up. That's it.